Hello, hello. This is Real Estate Beyond the Sign. My name is Lindsay Carducci, and I am here today with a good friend and colleague, Andy Ridga. He is with Edge Home Finance, and we are going to talk about everything today. So, Andy, I would love if you could just give an intro of yourself.
Sure. Well, thanks, Lindsay, for having me. I really appreciate being here.
Absolutely.
So Andy Ridga with Edge Home Finance. I am a mortgage broker. What I do is I help clients get that loan for that house they want. In a nutshell, that's what I do.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, you and I got to know each other. I'm pretty sure it was through the board.
Yes.
So that's how we became connected. You are an affiliate with the board, which I highly suggest for, anyone in the
Absolutely.
industry. It's just a great way to connect with other professionals and, get in front of the right audience.
Right.
So you have also helped us out through the board in other ways other than lending.
Yeah.
I feel like you're a resident DJ
Yeah.
for all the Medina County board events. I feel like you threw that out there though.
I did.
So you can't hate us too much for
Oh, I
always
don't.
wanting you.
I don't. So it would be just collecting dust if I wasn't
Yeah.
for bringing it out for your events, as I was a wedding DJ for 20 some odd years.
Yeah.
And I think we were on tap, and it was like a trivia deal, and nobody could hear you. And I'm like,
Yes.
I got a solution.
Yes, that's so right. I actually forgot about that.
Yeah.
So, but you've helped us with many events. We are so appreciative of that, which kind of leads me to your background prior to lending.
Sure.
So that was your, you were full-time DJ, you said, correct?
No, so
Or-
it
okay.
was something I did
Just-
as a side business.
Yeah.
So I have 5 children, and so we got a big family. And when we were a one income household, DJing did a very nice job supplementing that.
Yeah.
But it's late nights and long
Yes.
weekends sometimes. But it was fun while it lasted.
Yeah.
I'm dating myself, but the music was better back then. So.
Oh my gosh. If I have never heard a more true statement.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I was meant to be in a different time period because the music like now is just, it ain't it.
No, and there's a reason why you still hear Dre and Snoop and all those DLC, everything from the 90s still showing up now, and even my kids still listen to that. So
Yeah.
it's there's a reason they're classics. They last the life cycle. Whereas when I towards the tail end, everything new that came out lasted 2-3 weeks. That was about it. So
Yeah.
it was really hard trying to keep up with the trends and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. There's so many one-hit wonders.
Oh, a ton.
So many.
A ton.
That could be a whole nother video. Okay, so perfect. So let's get back to, let me step back. There's a couple other things I wanted to mention. Sorry. So you mentioned that you are a father.
Yep.
And I had the pleasure, little silent plug of meeting your son the other week.
Mhm.
Well, gosh, it was probably more than weeks ago at this point. But so how many children do you have?
So I have 5 kids. You met Deegan.
Yes.
Deegan is title rep at Network Land Title, so I'll give him a plug.
Yes. Another affiliate.
Yeah. So he is the second oldest. My oldest is about to turn 27. Deegan's 23. I have she'll be 22 here in a couple weeks. Funny, my first and third child have the same birthday.
Oh, really?
5 years
What
apart.
are the odds of that?
And my nephew was born on the same exact day as my oldest son.
Oh
my wife and her sister were in adjoining hospital rooms, and they had the baby within about 3 hours of each other. Yeah. So, but I have a 18 and 17-year-old that are still in high school. So
awesome.
busy household.
Yes, I can imagine. Well, that's awesome. So let's talk about some work stuff.
Mhm.
I know you have an event coming up and we want to talk about that in a
Sure.
little bit, but let's talk a little bit about lending things.
Mhm.
So why do you think that it is so important to choose the right lender?
So just as it's great to choose the right realtor,
Hmm.
it's about comfortability and it's about relationship that you
Yep.
can have with that person. So, you know, I maybe not be it for everybody. You may not be it for everybody,
Yeah,
but what
100%.
I like to bring to my clients is the education, the guidance, the step by step, and bring them through the entire process. So even if you bought a house before,
Hmm.
you may not be an expert because maybe about one or two, and you've done that in your lifetime and you may
Yes.
forget, and the market changes and the process changes, the rules change, everything changes.
Yes.
I like to guide my clients through that. On top of everything else, I was a football coach for 15 years. And so I kind of have that coaching mentality to help everyone through that process. So if learning about it is something that is important to you, and knowing exactly how much money to bring to the closing table, not just what your down payment is or what your payment will be or could be at different price points, those things are important to you, then that's what I bring to the table.
Yep. And it's so important, like in the beginning, how you mentioned, like, you may not be for everybody. I may not be for everybody. That's so true.
Hmm.
There's enough fish in the sea for all of us,
Yes.
is what I
Hmm.
like to say. Like, there are enough consumers, there are enough realtors, like,
Hmm.
there is enough business to go around for everybody. But I think what's most important, because you have to trust your lender, because you need to be very upfront with them.
Hmm.
You need to tell them everything.
Oh yeah.
So you need to be comfortable with that person, I feel like, and relate to them,
Hmm.
because obviously you're going to be disclosing some pretty personal things.
Yeah, and so I think the important thing is on top of that is, I'm an everyday Joe. There's no
Yeah.
judgment. If you made
Hmm.
a mistake in the past, it's in the past, and we move forward. I told
Yep.
my little kids when I was coaching them, you made a mistake. We're gonna flush it down the toilet, and we're gonna move on. And
Yep.
so same with in your financial space. That if something isn't perfect, it's
Yep.
okay. We can move past that if I learn about it. And you know what? There is no judgment. It's everyone's got a
Exactly.
past. Everyone did something dumb when they were younger or bit them in the butt,
Yep.
and we move past it.
Yep, exactly. And your like role, I think, is to help figure out how we can get on the path,
Hmm.
if it's not now. So,
Yes.
bankruptcies,
Hmm. Hmm.
foreclosures, they don't mean that, you're blacklisted and you can never purchase again.
Right.
There just are stipulations,
Hmm.
and things that, like waiting X amount of years. And, so I think it's just important to, a lot of us, I think, fixate as humans
Hmm.
on, well, maybe if I just like don't bring it up, it won't be an issue, or,
Yeah.
like they just want to move past it.
Yeah.
So I think it's important, choose a lender who you trust, who you can confide in. So that way, because everything has a way of coming to the surface.
Yeah.
So if you don't tell your loan officer up front, they're most likely going to find it some way in a more inconvenient time.
Right. And you want to know ahead of time. For example, I had a lovely couple. They were looking and they had just gotten themselves into a real world of hurt. You know what? It happens.
Yeah.
We figured out a plan for them. I worked with them for almost 2 years. And every few months we check in and make sure that they were doing the steps that I had prescribed for them to get them home ready. And you know what? They bought their house. They had a child with special needs, and they needed their own home because where they were renting, the landlord wasn't very accommodating. There was black mold issues, and they're like, "We got to get
Oh
out of here,
yeah.
Andy. What do we do?" And I'm like, "Let's do this, this, and this." And they closed on their awesome house, and they have the play yard for
Oh
their kid, and
good.
it's a generational home now because they had older kids too that can come home and
Yeah.
stay with them when they were out of town. So yeah, we just make sure that we know all those things up front, and then we can do the work around.
Yeah. And I think too often times a lot of consumers just are, they just deal with whatever their rental situation is
Yeah.
because they think that home ownership is not attainable,
Hmm.
and I'm definitely guilty of that. I've rented for many, many years and lived in less than great
Hmm.
conditions just because it was what I felt like was the only option,
Yeah.
and so um even if I feel like you don't think that you are in a place to purchase, I think it is still important to have a conversation
Yeah.
with a mortgage professional so that way you can determine, like you said, what steps have
Hmm.
to be taken. Because what I like to say, and maybe it doesn't quite apply as much to the lending world, but like in real estate, everything is figure outable,
Hmm. Oh yeah.
and like there is a solution for every problem,
Yeah.
and so even if you think you may not be in the greatest position, reach out to Andy and see if he can help you get there. So
Yeah, and that's the great part about being a broker is that if somebody doesn't fit the box of a bank or a retail lender, and no shade on them. I mean, there's a lot of great lenders out there, but I can position and move. Like when something happens where a deal. Information comes late to the table, like, hey, by the way, I didn't tell you this happened. Oh, well, we're 2 weeks from close. I can pivot and still make that date
yeah.
because I have other options.
Hmm.
And you talked about bankruptcy. I have a 1 day out of bankruptcy program. That's yeah. Uh,
One day out
one
of
day out of bankruptcy,
wow.
90-day lates on your mortgage. I mean, look, there's caveats to all these, but they're options or possibilities.
Yes. Yep. And I think that's the important point to hammer home.
Hmm.
So all right, let's talk about rates. What are rates doing right now? I feel like everyone is
Yeah.
always fixated on
Hmm.
rates. It's always been my opinion that you date the rate, find the home you're looking for. Find the home that obviously you can afford, but
Hmm.
that checks the boxes.
Hmm.
What are your thoughts?
No, 100%. So if the first question, what are rates doing?
Yes,
Rates are on a roller coaster right now.
always.
Everything that rates depend on um, with the market is in turmoil because the world's in a little bit of turmoil. But that
Hmm.
doesn't mean it's the end of everything. It just means
Right.
we're just a little bit unpredictable right now. But the good news is working with somebody that you could trust, we can navigate that together. Now, to your point, finding that house, if I believe it was MBS Highway, and they do a lot of market research, and they found that when rates drop 1%, and this is nationwide, but 4 million buyers enter the
Yep.
market. So what that means is more competition.
I
And what
know.
we saw in COVID, we saw an increase in house
Yep.
prices. Everything exploded. So when you have more buyers, you have more competition, people willing to pay more. I tell you, even now with rates where they're at, I've had a situation, we went 25,000 over asking, lost it to somebody who paid more than that. And,
Yeah.
it was, what can you do? It's again, it's not an end all be all, but that's kind of where we're at right now. The inventory's low.
Yep.
Rates are a little bit higher than we would like them to be, but it's not like a matter of $500 a month unless we're talking $1 million house. It's very minimal.
Yeah. And I think that's super important. And in the big scheme, and again, I mean, I probably have a little bit of a different lens as you because we're in the industry, but in the big scheme, we still have great rates.
Yeah.
It's the inflation that's the problem,
Yes. Hmm.
So, but until the inventory improves,
Yeah.
supply and
Well,
demand.
it's exactly right. Supply and demand. Once the supply gets higher, which I think we're starting to see now with the weather starting to break, and people naturally start getting into. And I mean, I know this is your realm, but what I've been seeing and the contracts I've been getting is that people like to move towards the end of the school year with the
Yeah.
kids and stuff like that. So right
Yeah.
now we're in a position, but I saw a lot of activity over the winter time too.
Oh yeah.
More so than I thought I would, because with the weather, it was super cold, and then you got the holidays. People are still ready to make a move.
They really are.
Mhm.
They really are. And I think we noticed that as well on our team. We didn't have any bit of slowdown over the winter,
Yeah.
which is good. It's a good thing. That means people are still out there.
Yeah.
So talking about working with lenders, I
Mhm.
think one of my personal, most important things when, having a lender that I work with
Mhm.
is communication.
Absolutely.
Because like I had mentioned to you earlier, you go under contract and a lot of times you get ghosted by the title company and the lender.
Yeah.
You don't hear from them at all. And so I think that's super important to talk
Mhm.
about. And I know that you have great communication between, the
Thank
realtors and clients. So
Yeah.
it's super important.
There's probably nothing more important
Yep.
than the communication when it happens, good and bad.
Yes.
Sometimes, things don't go the way we want. Appraisal comes in low.
Yep.
Someone didn't disclose something. We got to work around it. We got to get past it.
Mhm.
So I always tell my clients, we don't hit walls, we have hurdles. We just got to get over it, get to the next step, and then we do that together. I like to contact not only my buyer's agent when my clients go under contract and give them updates, but I'll call the listing agent and say,
love that.
hey, you know what? We have an appraisal coming up, just making sure that you're okay being the contact. Oh, well, I'm going to be out of town. Call my assistant. Cool. What's their information? Put that down.
Yep.
Hey, I just called you on my cell phone. Give me a call, text. If you need anything, I'll give you weekly updates as we go along. So it's important to let everybody know kind of what's going on. Because even towards the end of the transaction, things get real fast paced, and make sure everything is in place. But just even the going forward and going through it, it's so important to talk to everybody.
Yeah. And I think, when I'm on the listing agent side of it and I, potentially have multiple offers that I'm looking at, if I don't know the name of the lender,
Sure.
which is, very much an option. I don't know every single lender in the world. So, I do know a lot because of how, connected in the local and state level that I am. But if I'm looking at a handful of offers, and I'll be honest with you, as of lately, I would only say if I do have a multiple offer situation, probably only one lender is calling me out of that group.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
And you would think, because I ask the lenders that I work with, like, call this listing agent, I need you to tell them how solid of a buyer we have and how good you communicate. Because that's very important, the communication with the listing agent and the lender. I know that obviously your duty is not to me as the listing agent. I understand that. But in the world of keeping everything together and flowing, I think everybody needs to be in communication.
Well, just like, you being on the listing side, it is, you're part of the transaction, and yes, my duty is to the clients, but everybody has to be involved. And, the insurance agent, the title company, the appraisal management company, all those people all have to know what's going on, because if nobody knows what's going on, I heard Kendall talking about, she tried to get a hold of somebody, 14 calls or something. That's insane. I can't imagine. I tell you what, I've always said, if you want to be the richest person in the world, own a fence company and call your customers back, because you look at all the business. But that's also, with people that just, I don't know why. And with automation, you would think it'd be even easier, even if it's like a automated text. Hey, we're approved with conditions, appraisal came in, something,
Yes. And I love that you said that. Like, I appreciate. If you can't pick up the phone, I at least appreciate those milestone updates, and
Yeah.
that is super helpful.
Sure.
All right, what else can we talk about? Oh, let's talk about your event coming up.
Oh, great.
So you have an event coming up. What's the date again? Give me the dates.
So it's April 2nd.
Okay.
It is 11 to 2 at the Medina Chamber of Commerce, Greater Medina Chamber of Commerce,
Okay.
over here in the square.
Their new space.
Yeah. So we're in the big space. They have 2 spaces.
Yes.
We're in the big space. I think I'm really hoping to get the turnout. So what me and Deegan, my son, we're providing is a hour of continuing education around
Perfect.
title fraud. All right. Sounds a little boring.
No,
So
it's not though.
well, we're going to spice it up.
Okay, good.
So I have a guest speaker coming in, and he is the expert on title and mortgage fraud because he committed it and he got caught. And he was the #1 Secret Service most wanted guy. He was on the run for 3 years, got sentenced to 26 years in federal prison,
Oh my
served
goodness.
13. He's a best-selling author. He's got a podcast that focuses on true crime in the fraud space with 1 million subscribers. And he actually wrote part of the ethics course that we have to take as mortgage lenders.
Oh, wow.
They're like, well, let's go to the source. We know what he did. Let's make sure nobody else does that. So
yeah.
He's going to help us through a lot of red flags and, give us a brief overview of what he did, but also give us ideas because, just like the old saying, if someone's like, hey, just give us a ride to the bank, they go and rob the bank, you're driving the car, you're culpable.
Yeah.
And just like in real estate, if someone's committing any kind of fraud, we're part of it. If we don't bring it or we don't know what to look for, we can be culpable as well. And I've told people I will not work with you because I don't think you're being honest with me. Like buying an investment home and calling it your primary. You have a job in New York and you're going to buy a house in Ohio. I don't think so. So
right.
There's things that we need to look out for that you need to look out for. Yeah. So that's going to be fun. We have lunch, a little bit of networking opportunities. So that it'll be a lot of fun. April 2nd, contact me. If I'm not a friend with you on Facebook, I'll get you a free ticket and it'll be a great time.
Awesome. And you sent me the link for that. So after we're done here, I'll make sure that I pop that in the comments if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm excited. I definitely want to see that chamber space because I personally want to hold a couple classes there. So I'm excited to see the space. April 2nd, get registered. It will be in the comments. And what else is coming up? You are going to be our resident DJ again for our RPAC auction that's coming up. So that is May 21st. So make sure you come out. What was the request? Didn't I tell you a certain
it's America themed, right?
Yes. It's like America's birthday.
Yeah.
And
so American music, a lot of different genres. And
who was the artist that I told you?
Oh, Lee Greenwood. Yeah.
Lee Greenwood.
God bless the USA.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there will definitely be some Lee Greenwood and all the good tunes that Andy is going to be mixing up for us.
Absolutely.
All right. So we'll do like a couple more questions. We're already at like the 24-minute mark. So what best advice would you have for first-time home buyers?
I think the best advice is just talk to somebody. Stop guessing.
Start the conversation.
If you're scrolling on Zillow or homes.com or any of those spaces or looking in Facebook Marketplace, talk to somebody, get guidance from a real estate agent, from a realtor, get guidance from a lender. Let us look at your financial situation. Let us, what I like to do is I like to tell a story for my clients, make sure, all my lenders know where they're coming from. We're not just a number and a file. We're actually people looking to buy a house and, see, and if now is not the right time, let's figure out a plan to get you in the right time. Let's guide you through the processes it takes to make sure that you have what it takes to have a strong offer when it's time to find that house.
Yes, absolutely. And I'll just share a quick story. When I got into real estate, quite honestly, I thought owning a home was not an attainable thing for myself. I don't know why. Being a single woman, I just was like, there is no way I'm never going to be able to afford it. And so, but then, I got sick of my renting situation. So I started asking questions, from all of the professionals that I knew. And what I didn't realize at the time, well, I had like heard it before, but I had to wait. So when I was ready to buy a home, I was switching from a real estate career where it wasn't just commission. So I was like a W-2 employee as well. And then I went out as a solo agent, and then I had to wait 2 years. And I didn't know that. And I know that's not always the case now, right?
Nope, not at all.
And so, I'd love to talk about that too, because I think more often than not, like, there are a lot of realtors who get into this industry who aren't homeowners. And so let's talk about that really quick.
Yeah, sure. So there is, so what you're talking about is traditional Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac guidelines. Those are, so each bank has, or lender has like this box. And then outside of that, that's called qualified mortgage. Outside of that box is called non-QM. Non-QM is where each lender can kind of make their own rules depending on, I mean, you do have to make sure that everything is legit. But as long as everything is legit, we can take things that are outside of that box. So for example, being a 1099 worker, or being new to the self-employed, even if it's a contractor or whatever it is, real estate agent, we can do like a bank statement loan where we can see your income. So in being 1099, the advantage is writing off a lot of the expenses. So like even on paper, you wait those 2 years, you might have a lower income because you have your mileage and you have your lease and you have your signs and all your marketing stuff. Well, we can take an expense factor against your true income and have you qualified. Like I can, I feel comfortable making an X dollar amount, but I can only get approved for down here. Well, we can see how that translates into, yes, you can actually afford that because, we look outside the box and in that situation.
I love that. I love that. And is there any other, this just popped into my head. It's completely random, so I apologize.
Please.
I'm going to throw you for a loop.
Go ahead.
What about tipped employees? So I know, like, I come from a service industry background, and I know a lot of people in that industry still, and they always have the idea that, well, I don't make anything on paper, so I can never buy a house.
So there's a couple things we can do. I actually helped a real estate agent who had 1099 income and worked in a restaurant and had tipped income. On the paycheck stub, if you have your hourly wage and you have those tips in there on that,
like you claimed
you
them.
claim them, then we can count them. If you don't, we could look at that. The previous program I talked about where you have, but it's a little bit more hazy. I think it would be better for that specific individual to have those claimed so that we can use that as the income.
So sorry.
No, go ahead. It's called variable income.
Okay.
We just have to verify that through all the documentation that you have over the years.
So advice for them would be, because I think we all sometimes have to kind of play with our income. So, basically your advice, claim more of your tips because that's going to show more income to help allow you to get them potentially qualified.
Yeah. And when a lot of those tips are put on a credit card, they automatically show up. I've seen a lot of paycheck stubs where they'll just show up on there anyways. And that's a great thing.
Yes. Yeah. And I think, but then there's always cash. That's what everybody always.
Cash is hard. Yeah. If you're keeping cash under your mattress for a rainy day, that's great. If you're looking to buy a home, put it in the bank.
Yes.
That's really all there is to it.
And talk to a professional
Yeah.
before you just start making large deposits.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Because it's also our nightmare, right?
Yeah. I know we're getting ready to wrap up, but
Yeah.
there was one thing I did want to talk. It was a great question you had on here about credit. And if I could just touch on that, I think it's something that nobody knows about when it comes to your credit report. So if you're in a building, your credit process, most people know that, make your payments on time. Fantastic. Do that. Keep your utilization. That means what you owe on your credit card to your limit. Keep that under 30%. Perfect. What a lot of people don't know is they're like, I'm just going to pay off my credit cards and I'll be done.
Yes.
It's actually not a great thing. Twofold. So first, you don't want to close those because that lowers your available credit. So that actually will drop your score. Second is you keep them open and you want to keep a zero balance. Not a great idea because the payment history is a percent. And if we go back to sixth grade, a percent is a ratio. So we want to make sure that ratio is high. So even if it's $9 a month, if it's $10, a Netflix subscription, Hulu, a tank of gas, a pack of bubble gum, whatever it is, if you put that on the card and then you pay that off, that counts as a payment. $2, $10, $200, doesn't matter. You have as many of those payments possible and that'll boost your score. So a lot of people don't realize that I'll just pay it off and I won't have any debt. That's cool. But if you're in a building situation, you want more positive payments than you've had maybe negative in the past.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if somebody had like just a small balance on a card, could they make multiple payments in 1 month and that?
So you could, only if you were going to approach your limit. Because the way the credit card companies have to pay the credit bureaus to report. So they call batching. They just do it once a month. So if you made 5 payments in 1 month, that only counts as one.
Okay.
So if you had like say a $500 card and you're like at $400, and you want to get that down and you made 200 by the end of the billing cycle, we could get into this if you talk to me a little bit more specifically, but you want a time before the end of that billing cycle that it's under 30%, and then that would count as one payment.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, so we talked a lot about like the professional side of things and work and all the good stuff.
Yeah.
But I want to end on a fun note.
Sure.
So we also had our friend Emily. She said hello. So I just want but so on the personal side, what do you enjoy doing outside of work?
So
family, I'm sure.
Yeah,
family
it's
is
a lot of
number
family
one.
stuff. My kids' friends all make fun of us. They call us, the cleavers. We have Sunday dinner every week.
Love that.
Everyone comes and we make a big meal, and no matter what we're doing through the week, the boys come home and everyone tries to figure out a time. And if everyone's working or has plans, maybe we'll have a big brunch, but we have Sunday dinner. So that's a big thing in our house. Other than that, my wonderful wife, Kelly, we've been married for 28 years. And so now we're at the point where the kids are a little bit grown. We can do some more traveling because it was Disneyland and all that garbage. So now we could take adult vacations, resorts and stuff like that. And so beach and a margarita in the sun.
Beach is my happy place. Yes. I love it. So you like to travel?
Like to travel.
When you guys can.
When we can.
Sure.
Right.
Awesome. What else was I going to ask you? Oh, I know you have a funny DJ story, and I can't remember if I've heard this one before, so I want to hear it again.
Sure. So yeah,
you have to have stories for days.
I do.
That background.
So I'll give you the PG one. If you want to call me offline, I'll give you the expletive version. But so it was a wedding. God bless them. They were a nice couple. They definitely had a theme. Their theme was it was at the fairgrounds in Lorain County.
Oh yes.
And there's tractors on every table, and so each bride and groom, they always the perfect walkout song when I introduce them. Theirs was the Ballad of Jed Clampett, which, if you don't know, is the theme song to the Beverly Hillbillies.
Oh my God.
Let me tell you a story about a man named Jed, that song. So That's how they're introduced. So that's how we're starting off the night. We get in, and so it was hot that day. It was in the middle of summer, and we're in a barn, and the cake is melting.
Oh my gosh,
so
yeah.
I was like, let's hurry up, let's get pictures of you cutting the cake so we can get that in the
Yeah.
refrigerator. And a lot of time, just like a loan officer, I kind of make sure everyone's
You
doing their thing.
navigate and make sure everything's
So I'm
happening.
telling everybody what to do, and I'm like, we got to get a picture of the cake before this thing topples over. The bride walked over to it, cussed out the baker.
Oh my God.
And threw it on the floor. Like, like we're not cutting this. We're not cutting this damn thing.
She's like, F this.
Yep, pretty much. So I was like, oh, okay. And so fast forward to the night out. This is not a dry wedding by any stretch of the means.
Oh, I'm sure.
And everyone is three sheets to the wind at this point. And so I do the bouquet toss and the garter toss. So we got to take the garter off the bride.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy, I'll say his name is John because I don't want to say his real name. So he goes under the he's a small guy, mm-hmm. and his bride is a bigger gal. Mm-hmm. So he completely disappears underneath her dress. All you can see is his shoes. And so he comes out and he does this. Now, I don't know how she forgave him. He pulls over the dress and he goes, woo wee. Oh. And everyone, but she's laughing. She's good with it. All right. So he goes back under and he's fiddling around. He comes back up and he's got the biggest rat trap on his hand. I don't know where he got this thing, but he's waving it around. Everybody's hooting and hollering. He goes, finally he gets he gets the garter. And so John had a glass eye. So all his buddies are chanting, one eye Willie, one eye Willie, the whole time. And so they're all having a good time. And there's some other things that happen that I can't include here. So fast forward to the end of the night. Well, this story, maybe is not so funny, but John is hammered and everyone is hammered. And him and the bride get into a fight, like an argument. Yes. And he pushes her and she fell down. She was carrying their 2-year-old daughter.
Oh my gosh.
And so she falls down on the floor. Daughter falls on, and she's like, oh my God. Now everybody wants a dad like this. Dad of the bride comes up. Boom! Knocks out John cold, starfish on the floor, mouth open, tongue out. And everyone starts just stepping over him because they're like, and ladies and gentlemen, hope you have a good night. That was how we got out of that one. So it was that was an interesting one. Yeah.
I hope they don't all end so crazy because obviously they're usually always an open bar.
Yeah.
And that's just a recipe for disasters.
It always ends in mayhem, but yes. They're good stories for later on.
Yes, absolutely. Oh my goodness. Well, thank you so much, Andy, for coming on today. I had a great time, and Andy's info is scrolling, and it has been this whole time. So if you would like to connect with him, reach out, and you can also find him at the board and all the places,
all the events.
Yes.
April 2nd. Don't forget.
Yes,
we're going to put that in the comments.
Yep, I'm going to put that in the comments.
Or give me a call, email me. I'll make sure you get the link as well.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody.